Okay. Do you have a document that we can look at? Mama, you are muted if she's saying something.
I'll share with Quantum Computing India mail ID.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've shared. It's actually like quick draft, like we can modify.
Right. Cold.
No, actually, I didn't notice that I'm on mute. Sorry.
Okay, guys. Nilay, Abhi, we are able to see the screen.
Yeah.
Okay. Learning and simulating quantum effects and algorithms related to quantum cryptography, realization of quantum algorithms. Okay. Learning into 6 sessions, introduction. Proposal focuses on enabling hands-on study and analysis of different tasks. But we have to tell them where we'll be using IonQ's ecosystem / platform, right?
I thought of writing actually like one line where currently we are using other cloud platforms. We will like to actually do it on the IonQ platform also.
Okay, that is one line, but like it'll be better if we specifically say, like Nilay, Abhi, correct me if I'm wrong. Like which part of the IonQ platform that we would need access to and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, definitely. So, like me and Nilay actually came up with some points regarding the same. So, like we haven't like made an official document or something regarding it. Just like jotted down the points which like we found out after like reading some papers last week.
Okay, so let's do that.
This is for the pedagogy.
Correct. Yeah, correct. Pedagogy only. But still, we have to say no. Otherwise, like, why should they give
No,
access?
pedagogy is for like just like a demonstration, no? Like why? I mean, how we can actually specify like which part and why we need it and all this. We need to for analysis, like for learning and demonstration, right?
I guess like how we can portray it as like we can say like IBM has its everything open sourced, and there are even other platforms like D-Waves where we have used it extensively for optimizing purpose. But through this proposal, we would like to investigate like on various algorithms how IonQ portrays a better performance because of its unique architecture.
Versus IBM's.
Yeah, even I guess you can add Xanadu also, Photonics.
But like, do we have access to Xanadu?
No, we don't.
So
you can mention Rigetti maybe. It's available through Amazon Braket, so that's one.
okay, so this part alone, Nilay and Abir, if you guys can write this, then I think we can send this out. Otherwise, this is great. It's perfect. Like what we're doing, what are the goals? We'll say right now we are using IBM's Qiskit for everything. We want to use IonQ and compare the efficiencies of these different systems.
Yeah, like we can put it like since the entire material is open source for all the other companies, like it's much more easily available. We would like to like showcase how IonQ's platforms are better and make people understand regarding it.
So one more suggestion, like it's kind of related to like the what should I say? So actually, instead of writing comparison of these different hardwares, can we say something like we want to just test out algorithms on IonQ, because so like the internship that I'm doing right now, it's kind of related to this thing only, like comparing different hardwares, and since I'll be associated with this, I was not sure if the like the company would have any some problems with like the NDA and all. So maybe we can change the wording of the problem. Instead of writing comparison, we can like.
Got it.
I guess like Abhi, you can better like you can just actually say what you did over there, like then it'll be like more.
Okay, so mainly I just ran different algorithms and tried to compare these different types of systems, developing like a benchmark kind of thing for them. So yeah, that should be better, I feel. We can also leverage the fact that since we are using photonics in this, and like IonQ, the cryptographic algorithms are mostly geared towards photonic equipment. So IonQ systems might be much better for the implementation. So quantum cryptography. Yeah.
Right? I and O small, or everything is caps?
So O and N is small, I and Q is capital.
Why is that?
That's how we write it. I'm not sure.
And IBM, so if this is photonic, what is IBM, DWave, and Rigetti?
So it's not exactly photonic. Like we are using trapped ions in IonQ, but the way we control these ions is through lasers and stuff. Okay. So that's where the photonic part comes in. So
how about these guys?
These are they are basically solid state. Like it's a silicon chip where they have made transmon qubits and placed it. So yeah, this doesn't use photonics. This basically uses just like normal RF signals going into a silicon chip, and there are no moving parts. It's a like solid state chip. So the advantage we have in IonQ is that since the ions are not fixed, we can move them in spatial dimensions and like have some kind of have different operations across them, that kind of thing.
Sam, like D-Wave's W is capital.
So maybe we could add one more line at the end. So like our hypothesis is that IonQ will be able to run these algorithms efficiently because they use inherent they use photonic control. They use photonic control in terms of lasers for manipulating the states of the ions.
Photonic controls.
Control to such as lasers for manipulating the states of the ions. And hence provide a much better interface for networking these types of quantum hardwares, these types of quantum computers.
As the current quantum cryptographic algorithms are optimized for the photonic environment, our hypothesis is that the IonQ system would be ideal to run these algorithms efficiently. Photonic controls such as lasers for manipulating the state of the ions, and hence provide a better infrastructure. Oh, lovely. Huh. Yeah.
Maybe we'll think about it more, and there were a few more things, like few more parameters, so one was all-to-all connectivity in the quantum computer, so that we can add one more thing in this. So yeah, me and Nilay will sit and edit it.
So I've already shared the document. You guys can edit that. Okay.
Yeah.
There should be one more, no? From Ritamra, and you are working on this.
Actually, Abir had to actually say the project goal, whatever is there here. Similar to that, project goal was. Did you get time, Abir?
So yeah, like that's what. So me and Nilay, that's what I told initially. Like we sat and we tried to read some papers. So like that day you sent some resources also, right? But most of them they have only used annealing based hardware. So IonQ is not it's not intrinsically annealing based. So that was one roadblock that we were facing. So like essentially when it comes to modifications, it is kind of hard to come up with some optimization within the Shor's algorithm in a week. So yeah, we were hoping if you can help us a bit in that part.
Yeah, there's a lot of kind of maths involved, and mostly people who have optimized, like Abhi said, they are using annealing and all. And the second alternative which we thought, which we can come up was initially people have optimized like certain segments, like we use quantum phase estimation and IQFT, like inverse quantum Fourier transform in Shaw's algorithm. People have individually optimized those. So like we thought like if we can like pull in into our paper, like in the proposal, that we have come across such papers who have individually optimized those particular parameters, and we want to link them, build up an algorithm using those optimized versions, and then test that out on the IonQ. Because like we said, like inherently we'll have two optimizations which will be there from the platform. One will be all-to-all connectivity, so that will reduce the number of gate counts. So that will eventually again reduce the number of errors which will be there, and so you'll have like better fidelity. So that is something which will be there like always with IonQ. And the optimization, we thought this because like it actually involves a lot of math to do to optimize it.
Sam, actually, I have shared the document, which for the RSA, what we have drafted till now. The project goal was actually supposed to be drafted today.
Okay.
Now, for edit access, you'll have to actually request Udambra, or maybe you can create a copy of that and create a new document.
Okay. Okay. There's the 9th. Okay.
Actually, I fully drafted that pedagogy one only. This one actually is like only the contents. We had to actually like refine it after the project goals were defined.
Okay, so we are going to define the project goals now, or that's something that you have to spend more time on?
No, project goals actually, I mean, I need inputs from them, Abir and Muthu.
So
That's what we decided, na?
yeah, Mahima. So that's what our inputs were actually. So like we looked into the mathematics part and optimization of the individual components, but yeah, so that's the most we could get. So that's what. So like we were hoping if you could give us more insights, because you have spent more time on cryptography per se. So yeah, like we both looked at it from more of a hardware perspective, and the mathematical part was kind of difficult to, like, first of all it is difficult to understand in just a short time, and then like optimizing that particular part, like coming up with a completely new thing is kind of
See, the basic project goal is like to actually run Shaw's algorithm. Now, if somebody will ask you like how you'll run Shaw's algorithm, how you can utilize IonQ, that's the only question we have to answer in project goal.
Yeah.
We need not, as per my like suggestion right now, we need not design a mathematical solution, because it will actually eat up a lot of your time. So that was exactly what my idea was. Like then you told, okay, if you'll have a good algorithm to show them, then might be it will be better. Right now we don't have that, so let's drop that. What we can do is under project goal, like basically our goal is to run the different Shaw's algorithm and implementations and see how it behaves in IonQ. Okay. So then how will you actually explain it to somebody? That will be your project goal.
Okay.
And now that is what I want your help on. Like under the project goal, those sentences should be like more on the hardware perspective, like somebody who knows very well the hardware and how it behaves and all. If they're writing the project goal, how it will look like.
Yeah. Okay. So Yeah.
So just focus on like implementing Shor's and Grover's algorithm in like IonQ. What exactly are we going to see there?
Yeah. So, like again, one concern that arises in my mind was regarding the novelty of the project. So, like, Shores and Grover's algorithm is not that difficult to implement per se. So, like,
No.
they
Shor's
might.
and Grover's algorithm, there are many implementations. Like Shor's algorithm itself, there is like different ways of implementing it.
Yeah. We saw that, but that's what. So, uh,
There is no novelty. I mean, novelty is in about doing it in IonQ. Like we will actually take, that is what we decided that day, na? Like
mhm.
we will tell that we might take about 11 bits and see how we will actually design the, I mean, see
Yeah,
the behavior, all those stuff.
but that day, like that day, we also decided, right, that like to come up with some kind of optimization in
No, leave it.
That's
I
why.
mean, that was actually, I was like wondering how you'll do it also, but
Yeah.
it's okay. We need not give that.
Okay,
Let's give a
okay,
try with other explanations right now.
okay, fine then. So yeah, we'll add that thing then.
Yeah.
So both the documents will try to finish by today or
Huh. So
tomorrow.
that day we told na like how we can actually maybe come up with a 32-bit special case number and try to optimize it. I mean, try to actually learn about the running time because these are almost like true qubits. So that we can study on the effects. Then again, we'll actually try to actually take up some 11 or 12 bits numbers and then try to optimize them, something like that.
Yeah, that thing we can add. So yeah, I think then let's not look into the optimization part then only.
Because it will actually like just put it in a like one point. We are also aiming at optimizing based on some of the hardware terms which you know, okay, like utilizing these properties or something like that.
Okay.
Bhaima, so what we can do is like the doc which we'll share in the abstract will list down the major advantages which we gain from the hardware perspective for implementation of Shor's algorithm, and the other link which we can provide for the extensive doc there will draw in the references where people have individually optimized these different segments of Shor's algorithm, and then we'll write in such a way saying that we are still looking into developing an algorithm where we can involve these optimized versions and then implement the Shor's algorithm in a totally different way. That
Yeah,
works.
or implementing a new algorithm will be the last goal.
Yeah, so that we
Initially,
can.
our
Yeah,
goal is actually to study the behavior of different implementations in IonQ environment. Compare with different environments and IonQ.
yeah. So that's all. Like we'll draw on the references. Like people have implemented there, and that's the result which we've obtained.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
something like that, right? Yeah, that's. Yeah.
Okay, so Nilay and Nabil will work on this.
Yeah, we'll hit it down because we have some points on our mind. We just need to type it down.
Okay, cool. All right, but Bhuneshwari is also here. Bhuneshwari, you want to talk about the third proposal?
Yeah, Sam. So I've actually started working, but then I had some questions. I'd contacted Maima too. So they basically ask us for the project timeline and all, right? What should I write for that?
Can you share the doc so we can all look at it?
I'm actually attending from my phone, so I don't have the doc yet. But then I thought I'd just note it down somewhere and then show
Yeah,
the whole thing.
Rudambra, for that, what you can do is like just say that there are different phases, okay? So first phase will be actually literature survey, where we are actually learning about the different things, the current implementations. And the next phase will be actually like seeing a problem statement. And the third phase will be actually designing a solution. So right now we are almost in third phase.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
All
the
right.
fourth phase will be implementation and comparison and analysis. And the the final phase will be actually like coming up with a solution, like implementation in real world or like papers and all those stuffs.
All right. So that would be like 5 phases, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So what about the specific resource requirements? I thought I needed input from the hardware point of view for that. Should I incorporate that or?
Actually, like in the third phase, with whatever we have right now,
Yeah.
so there will be two solutions actually, which we will basically use quantum computers. Like one was basically post quantum implementation. We do not need quantum computers, only for simulating attacks. Okay. So did you understand? Like for that
Yeah. Ha ha
purpose.
ha. Yeah.
So, again, in our project, like the drone project, we can basically use these quantum computers for actually learning the RSA effect, RSA or the public key cryptographic effect, which you can actually maybe tell that in the second phase itself, like the literature survey. Na? So, in literature survey, if you can say that like we have already done this in IBM or the current openly available ones, we also are planning to do it in IonQ. You can put it that way.
All right.
You
All
get
right.
it?
All right. Okay. Okay. Okay.
So right now, even though we are in the implementation phase, when you're describing it, you can say that in this phase 2 also we will need like it's not like going back, but we would like to extend the phase 2 by using IonQ system as well.
Okay. Okay.
Again, so now coming to utilizing IonQ, as I've told, for implementing post-quantum cryptography, we do not need them. Only for analysis of these existing cryptographic schemes and for simulating attacks. And maybe if we actually come up with some chaotic-based image encryption schemes, as we have told, like there is actually a data processing part also. So it's all about how you have compiled the document. So there also we can use quantum computers.
Okay, so I'll do something. I'll actually write under these subheadings: introduction, goals, approach, timelines, resource references, and I'll put it up on the group. And if you've got any modifications, just let me know. Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I'll tell where all we can utilize it. One is
Yeah.
actually in the literature survey phase or the study or analysis phase. Next is actually in testing phase. Okay. And also in the implementation phase, if we are basically using some quantum based encryption schemes or something for image part. Okay. Like if you remember, there are certain algorithms which actually can like encrypt these images using QRNG. Like if we have a QRNG generator inside that, we can take some inputs from that, random bits inputs from the images, and actually make use of these QRNG chips or like quantum generate, like number generators, and we can combine that. Such sort of algorithms are also there. So keep that in mind when you're drafting it. These are the 3 areas where we can actually use quantum computers.
All right. I'll just say that out again. Let me know if I'm right. First is for the utilization phase. First is for like extending the phase 2, that is like in the above part. Then we have the utilization thing, the testing phase, and the third one is for QRNG visual encryption schemes to take.
Yeah, that will come in the previous to the testing phase, like the implementation phase itself.
Okay, 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 okay. So these are
Right
basically
now,
the.
as I've told, like we have not decided on which encryption scheme we are using for the data processing, right? So that's actually one question mark, like how we'll be processing our data yet. So when you're writing that, we are actually, I mean, you can draft a document that we are looking at different quantum safe implementations for the image processing, which is based on classical as well as the quantum phenomena. Okay. So that you can while you're drafting the implementation phase, you can tell that So for the image, the data processing part, we will actually like to actually study the effects of various algorithm on the image encryption, like the level of security and the randomness and what should I say, the bit distribution, all those things it is generating. Like if you see any image encryption algorithms, you will see how they have analyzed in the end. Like they give us a chart, right? Like where they show that there is good distribution and there is no like much correlation with the actual image and the final image that we have generated, etc.
All right, so it's like the one of the papers which we discussed, right? Like we can use this for like comparing the various schemes and find out like which is the most optimal thing. So is it, yeah, okay. Yeah, Sam. So I think I'm done with the doubts. I'll just write it down. I just needed the exact points for what to write down. I'll write it all down.
All right, cool. So write down and
Ridhambra, you can actually like elaborate.
not
Okay.
Ritambra. Yeah, this is not Ritambra, this is
Oh,
Bhuneshwari.
sorry, sir. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, sorry.
It's all right, it's all right.
I mean, I have not talked with you so much, so I get confused between the names actually a lot. Okay,
Yeah, it's
sorry,
fine. Yeah.
sorry, Bhuvneshwari, actually.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, like so you didn't like transfer the work to her. Ritambara.
okay,
No, I
so
thought Ritambra and Maima, they were working on the RSA paper and you guys were discussing names and all, right? That's what Ritambra was telling me when I asked her from last meeting.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that document is there. Now Abir and Nilay will add a little more context to that and we'll send it out. So 2 papers are kind of ready. Okay.
Okay, so mine is the third one.
Yeah.
Yeah, fine, okay.
so what I was trying to tell us that when you're writing the phases, if you feel that you need to distribute it, I mean, divide it further, you can do that. Okay. The project phases.
Just try to make it the most convincing I can, I guess. Yeah.
Also, it's not like a long paper, not more than 2 pages. Okay.
Yeah, it was only for 500 words, and I remember you said that like I can write as much as I want and then shorten it down to make it more sensible. So
But that was like 2 weeks ago. Now we are already on like 9th June. We just have 6 more days.
yeah, no. I actually like I know about the scheme and all, right? I wanted to like ask what the exact points are, so I'll get it done as soon as possible. Just, yeah.
As soon as possible is not a date. Give an exact time.
No. I'll the paper like the document which I'm working on is like half ready. All these exact points are only I want to do. I'll do it by tomorrow evening at the maximum. That's like
Okay,
the
cool.
thing. I'll definitely do it by tomorrow.
All right, and share with the Gmail ID, quantumcomputingindia@gmail. Okay.
Okay.
All right, cool. Anything else? Nilay, Abir, Maima?
Nope, nothing from my side.
Okay. Nilay and Abir,
No,
please
no.
work on these 2 dots, like add more context from the hardware side. And Bhuneshwari send us the paper by tomorrow. So by Friday, let's try to wrap this up. Okay.
Yeah, like we discussed it, right? Like by 12th we'll submit it. So
Correct. Yeah. All right. Okay, guys. Chalo, take care. Hey, you guys have a session, Nilay, Abir, today?
no, we have postponed it.
Okay.
But we had something else to discuss actually.
Like
I feel like you had some other meeting to go on.
it's okay. Until 10:30. Yeah.
Okay, then we can discuss. So actually, like we're thinking of like like we told last time, we had that IBM quantum education program. Yeah. So like initially me, Abir and Archit, we had like a discussions like couple of days back. We talked a lot over the night. So we came up with something. So one is that like initially like those like they are offering like it's kind of you get certified from IBM to teach Qiskit or using quantum using Qiskit occasionally. So what we're thinking of, like, since it's kind of like skill share, so what we can think of is like we can make a a courses like we have for fellowship initially, like KG takes for on the basics of quantum, like using Qiskit. So what we can do is that we can start preparing much, because there aren't any courses available which are like majorly from the hardware side. Like on the hardware side, I don't mean designing the quantum chip, but in general, the pulse, like how IBM hardware computer actually works. So no one actually teaches that, because all those courses which are available is just coding. Like you go quantum means for people is QML and cryptography, nothing else.
Right.
Essentially, like that's what the scenario right now is. So we thought of coming up like with designing the courses which are of much more giving, like how actually IBM's quantum computer works deep down.
Even other architectures if time permits.
Yeah, like this was just for the IBM quantum education program, because they offer something like that where we can get like a recognition from IBM, and we can show like what they need is the entire course structure, how we'll design it, what the parameters will be in, and we just need to submit a proposal to them.
Okay.
And that's how it goes. Like, yeah. And occasionally then we can start teaching like.
So what's the help that you need from us? Me.
The platform.
That's always there.
Yeah, and like it'll require a more of thing, I guess, because it would be like something which people will have to pay and learn. That's because that's how Skillshare works.
Yeah.
So like that wouldn't be like something really long ones, but short 1 or 2 hours ones, where you can just pay the weight. And so like how do we actually set up that system?
Sure.
Like there are many, like if we see, like if you look at this field, it's kind of like a tech. So people have really worked a lot into it. Like there are courses available on Coursera, EDX and whatnot, like, but they teach it like very abstract level. Like they just touch the layers and then they walk off. Like you technically float over there. Like they don't even take a dip also inside the real things into the quantum one. So we thought of like developing like much more deeper ones. So
yeah. So that's something that we have been talking about for quite some time, right? 12 hours, something if you can create. How long will this be?
It depends upon what we cover.
Okay.
So if we just take up the IBM's quantum thing, so firstly we'll like it starts with the basics, and basics are just not only gates like directly we'll come in and teach them with quantum gates. It's not that. Like you need to have prior, because that's the thing. Like this thing came up onto it because when we are handling this both the verticals, it's like pulse and metal. What happens is that there are a lot of mathematical concepts which aren't actually covered in Indian education system, I guess. Because if we see like the last year's QGSs, like probably like it was like more of the Indian students who were complaining that we didn't like, they asked for matrix multiplication and they were teaching quantum operators, Hamiltonian operators, like which is like advanced physics. So probably they covered it over there in their undergrad physics, but in India we really don't cover all those things in maths. Just the maximum which we're taught is triple integration, nothing apart from that. So we really don't cover more of the mathematical aspects. So we thought of like initially starting up with like, we can have like a chain of courses, and you can like people can directly enroll them, but the best approach would be to go them one by one. So first one can be like covering the basics mathematical aspects, like mathematical physics aspect majorly, because in India we don't cover physics from a mathematics point of view. We only cover mathematics from mathematics point of view and physics from physics point of view. Like that's the drawback of Indian education system. But so yeah, that's so happen. Like we try to cover more of that initially, because then only it's better. Like that's what people like that's what is happening in metal and pulse, because we are taking time to understand them, like mathematical physics. Otherwise we could have really progressed much more fast. Like we are going at a good pace, but we could have got that jet. So we can have started courses with basically mathematical physics, which people like they teach mostly in the MSc in physics and PhD in physics, but most of the community students which are out there in the market, they are majorly undergrads.
Yeah. No, I completely agree, and I have a few thoughts on this from based on whatever has worked till now, right? So what we can do is we can do a 4-hour workshop during a weekend, okay, and that we have to price it really low, something like 500 rupee or 1,000 rupee, and then because we are able to add a lot of value in that 4-hour session, then we convert for a longer period of course, which could be 3 weeks or 3 weekends, stuff like that. Got it?
Okay.
So that's better. So that's an ideal flow because if I have to trust new people in terms of spending money, I have to get a taste of how you guys teach also, right? Logically speaking, as
Yeah,
a
that's
human,
like,
that's how I would look at it, right?
yeah.
So a smaller course, which is like 500 rupee or 1,000 rupee, whatever, like 2 to 4 hours during a weekend. And then we gain trust. And then we say, hey, this is just the basics. Now we have like a larger course, which is like 24 hours or 12 hours, which is going to extend over 3 weeks of time frame. And once you're done with that, you will join our learning circle thing. So that will be a ideal flow for that, right? So which means you have to come out with the first 2 to 4 hours of workshop content and like what you will cover and whatnot. Then say like 12 to 24 hours of content and what you're gonna cover. And by the way, Rome is back. We can start using Rome again. Okay.
Yeah, told last time. Yeah.
So yeah, so that's now the ball is in your court. So other than that, like platform is always available. So you just let me know once this like a high level structure is ready. You don't even have to go and create the entire course structure, right? You just tell me the first 2 to 4 hours what you want to start with. We will like float it out, gain some interest from people, and then we'll start off. Okay.
Okay, that works. Yeah. So
Yeah.
like this was something which we thought like this is majorly like right now because of IBM's education. And similarly we can even replicate it for D-Wave also like
Right.
yeah. So all this and second point which like this the first one was kind of like a byproduct of it. The second one was like something to come up with like a firm now like if we can because something of a hardware in India isn't really existing. And the ones which have flourished now, if you say IonQ, D-Wave, all those Rigetti and all, they were like quite established in 1990s. And so it takes time for hardware, like it's there. So we thought of like coming up with something because right now what happens is like processors and all. So it's kind of becoming like more of like hard, like more of resources intensive. Like the ones which IBM have, like it's quite like you need to have like something superconducting and preserve it a much more better one. So what we thought of like in future what might so happen is that when you have classical systems coming out there and when you have quantum devices coming out there would be like a complete transition which needs to happen. And that would be really tough because we are quite a lot for a century we adopted to classical systems. So either they can be like what will happen in the processors and would be like there will be accelerators where you actually accelerate like it they'll act as linkage between classical processors and quantum processors. So this is something which will be there in the later market. Like we just have a instinct for that. And the second one is that like you actually develop a quantum chip because we have metal as a resource. So we can start it down there, but I'm not sure about like a company using metal and then without an IBM's giving them credentials for it. That wouldn't work. So we just thought of like we'll start it up now, give it on a research phase because there's a lot more materials like majorly like even the now ones like I guess what I've seen like MIT has come up with a new material bilayer magical like they have twisted graphene. So what it has done that like initially we need to keep it at 15 millikelvin the quantum processors because of superconductivity. So they haven't really kept it at that very low and still they are able because technically they are controlling a material's property to behave it as a superconductor to an insulator just by varying the electric field around it. So it's like a quantum transistor which we have. like on-off switches and between them. So this is like more of a material research, which we thought like we'll start it up and then we eventually will have it in a research phase. And then occasionally when you start it up with some things, you actually kind of gain funding to fund your own research. And because it takes time for a longer and because to get something of your own. So this is on the line which we were thinking of, like, because there isn't anyone like in hardware, at least in India. And and even the governments, like they've dedicated like 800 billion to, like, I'm not sure about the money, 800 crores, I guess, for the quantum mission, but I'm not sure about that.
8,000 crores.
Yeah, what so the figure is. So kind of in such a way, like because
to answer in a short way, the whole point of this learning circle is actually this. Like, if you look at that as a company, and if you keep running it for some time, we can register. Okay, that's not an issue, but I don't see any value in that unless we're gonna raise money. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So the raising money was through the EdTech program.
Okay. So that can happen, no?
Yeah. So like whatever is there, apart from that, okay, Abhi,
Workshops or sessions, and then through that we get the initial funding sort of, and then we start developing the quote unquote product for the company, something like that.
Yeah. Makes sense. I mean, that's a whole vision as well. So when I said like you guys like come out with that thing, it's not that you're gonna do it for free. Even that fellowship specialization that you're gonna run, right? So like majority of the money will come to the facilitator, right? So that's how it's going to be structured. And the whole point of learning circle is each learning circle should become a company of its own. That was the point. Maybe it wasn't clearly communicated, but like now that you guys have asked for it, and like,
yeah, like we knew it that the main objective was that, but we were like quite not sure when the outcome would really come.
Correct.
It shouldn't be that we are like the late ones to start, but that's not the reason, like because the late ones actually are the ones who flourished. And like that's what the survey says.
Yeah. Also, no, I get it. Maybe we can like now name this learning circle instead of calling it Quantum Hardware Learning Circle. Name it into a brand that you want to create.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Then that in itself can act as a company. The reason why I'm saying this is because it's a little longer conversation, but the point is ideally what's happening is we all will have individual identity on the blockchain platform that we are building. And then these companies are nothing but smart contracts between people who are part of that. Okay, it's as simple as that. Let me show that. So there's no point in giving 18% to the stupid government.
Yeah, that's the, and like secondly, I guess like if you Google one website, it's like it's a company. It's a Paris-based company. It's called C12QE.com. So what they have is just an idea, nothing else. And and they have a research facility from CNRS, which is like one of the top institutes in Europe. Like we have CSIR in India. So that's out there. So they have people out there who are supporting them. And they have raised, like it says, $10 million.
Yeah. It's just a landing page, right?
Like what they're actually proposing is not something like it's different, because like all the architectures right now, which are solid based, like IBM's, they don't have wall-to-wall connectivity. But the ones which they're showing is using carbon nanotubes. Like they'll put an electrode in the carbon nanotubes, and the carbon nanotubes will be like a host, and then they'll control the spin of the electron as a qubit. and then you can host as many of the electrons, and they'll have like all-to-all connectivity and all what. So that's the main thing which they're focusing on. So it's just an idea. And like there's also one YouTube page, QC, where like if you have like Q2B, like all the QC where, so all the startups which are there in the quantum all around the world, they come and tell about their companies out there. So I was going through one of their videos.
T12 also has a session in Q2B 2020 last year's one.
Yeah, I guess his name is, I'm not sure here, Chandes is a surname, Parik something. So yeah, so like it's a 19 minutes video which I saw, like, so they haven't really told much of what they have achieved. It's just the idea.
Acha, guys, so now that Rutamra and Bhuneshwar is also here, I just want you guys to understand the larger picture here. Okay. See, this is our blockchain thing. When I say ours, it's like nowhere related to QCI. Okay. It's me and Gaurav, we are building this for like last 3-4 years. And like, you know, I'm also doing a research with Bharat Inclusion about the future of work, which is not based on gig economy, but based on something called community economy, right? So now think of all of you having individual identities like this, and you all have the ability to go and create communities like QCI or whatever that we have here. Okay. So the learning circle, though it started off within QCI, if QCI is not adding enough value, or like, you know, you want to like start your own community, you can still go ahead and do that. And the whole point of us creating this blockchain thing is to have 100,000 communities. Okay. Right now, I'm part of 5 communities, and like it's more like seeding a platform, right? Any platform needs initial seeding from the founders itself. So if you look at Quora is a question and answer platform, right? So the initial 100 questions and the 1,000 answers came from the founders and the initial set of adopters. So all the communities that we are building currently, Third Pillar, Stop Being Boring, Quantum Computing India, Stranger Sapiens, other thing is Mad About Growth. See, so these are all the communities that I am part of, okay? But we have now enough process set in terms of taking in people, setting processes and structuring the incentives so that people stick with you for a longer period of time, right? So that whole way of building a community, and when I say a community, it's much more than a startup, because you will have unlimited supply of labor to you, right? And that's a better way to go about it in the future. And the way that communities will make money is something like you correctly said. You want to use the workshops and the learning process to make money so that you can fund your other side, which is building your own hardware and chips and whatnot, right? So let me quickly show how one community will make money. Okay. So let's say, look at Quantum, right? So Quantum takes in unskilled people and semi-skilled people. Now remove Quantum Computing India and put your hardware brand over here. Okay. Now the reason why we call it a community is because it has both the supply and the demand side, which means supply is nothing but supply of skills, which means you act like an education institution to take in unskilled people and semi-skilled professionals, and you teach them. So right now what you talked about, which is mathematical physics, and then from there you take them to next level, right? So you're teaching them, and then you're also giving them apprenticeships to work on certain practice oriented projects. You also give gigs to people who are semi-skilled. But where are these apprenticeships and gigs coming from? It's coming from the demand side. And when I say demand side, it's nothing but acting like a talent agent for the supply that we are creating, right? So if Abir, Nilay and Archit is creating a supply of quantum hardware professionals, then your company's demand side is nothing but you give quantum hardware as a service, or quantum hardware professionals as gig workers to the demand side, right? So if someone wants to create a new thing, they will come to your community and say, hey, can I get people with, this is where identity comes in. They'll say, I want people with a overall productivity score of, let's say, 40 or 50. And then the skills would be whatever you're structuring, right? You would say the skills are mathematical physics, da 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 da, and all those things will be endorsed. The log will be on blockchain, so you don't have to worry about this identity layer that will be given to you. And the gig part also, you don't have to worry because we have the gig platform ready. So you just have to worry about just structuring the courses so that you can sort out the supply side. And then again, the demand side, you don't even have to go and sell. If you want, like, we have a community called Matterport Growth, so you can like take people from there to grow your community. Or if you think like you can do it on your own, then you can go ahead and do it, right? But all I'm trying to say is, our goal is not to have just 4 or 5 communities. Our goal is to have 100,000 communities. Okay. So if you guys feel like you want to create a whole new community, then all you have to do is buy one Rome Research paid version, which is like $150 for a year. And then we are sorted. Everything else, everything else comes from Discord. What else do we need? Then we need a landing page creator. So for that, you can use like a simple WordPress website generator. We use something called Umso for creating all these websites. So you can do that. But the underlying layer where you can keep creating these identities where the endorsements keeps falling in, then the platform, which is gigs. When I say these are all like open source, so that's why it's called .org. Again, this platform is also up and running, right? So basically, you will have your own white label gig platform, right? So that's what this is. Your demand side is nothing but your white label gig platform, right? And then the projects are nothing but you're going to be managing it on Rome Research. Your communication and your community building is going to happen through Discord. And your knowledge management again happens on Rome. What else do you need? Apart from that, like whatever your like coding and whatnot, you can like use your GitHubs and Quizzkit and those kind of things, right? I hope it's making sense.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Okay, so the whole point of us creating these communities is to show that anyone can create a community. If 3-4 of friends join together, you can start your own community, and starting a community is way better and I would say recession proof. It's risk free compared to starting a startup. Okay, because you have like unlimited supply which is coming to you because you're structured in this way, right? The only thing that we would say is like few things, like there are few commandments / rules that if you want to start a community on this, all by the way, this identity, gigs, everything falls under the larger thing called the third pillar. Okay, see, it's completely about reintegrating communities. This is all economic research part. You can go ahead and read it. This is the research that I was talking about. This is it's almost done, where we are talking about data ownership should lie with the individual gig worker. That is the only constraint. So that's one of the reasons why the identity has something called the shield, which lets you access other applications. So for example, in gigs also, see, you have to log in through shield only, right? That's the only constraint. I won't say constraint, but like there's also value in the long term for that. Okay. You guys can go read this. See, all the communities that we are building are again part of the research. So this is all like theoretical research that we are doing. Oh, community should act like a microcosm of an economy, da 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 da. But how will you prove that to people that it's working? For that, we have like seeded these communities into the platform. That's what we have done, right? And like if you guys want to go ahead and create your own thing on top of this, I've like written something called the community building handbook, which again is on Rome. You just have to follow that step by step. You would know exactly how to build it in a way that that we are talking about in this format, right? Everything is practically available. But like I said, you don't even have to take that risk right now. Look at this learning circle as a starting point, okay? And then at some point we'll spin it off. But if you say no, let's do it now only, I'm okay with that also. It's really up to you guys. Okay. I hope that made sense. Any questions?
No, actually it did. Like, So like first we'll focus on that, like the demand side, which you told about the courses and all.
That's the supply side. Yes.
Sorry.
Supply of
Yeah.
skills.
Sorry.
Yeah. So you create that, and then at any point we can convert that into a community, separate community or separate startup. Right.
Yeah.
And about giving it a name, like the brand, so it's like, is it like just we give it, or like we have to get it, like you have like we have company registrations, so you have something called for community registrations also.
Right now we just have 5 communities. So anything, I mean, the only thing that I would ask is just have .club at the end so that it like fits in with the larger net. Even Quantum Computing India, instead of .com, will be moving to .club, right? If you see everything, madaboutgrowth.club, strangersapiens.club. So if you can add the .club to your domain, then it'll be good. But otherwise, it's okay. Anything is fine.
No, like you have like just right now it's just like a vertical under the QCI. So like you told, like if we give it a name, like which you thought, like if we can for a later purpose, like rather than calling it a quantum hardware learning circle, like a name could be something better.
Please.
So
do you guys have something in mind?
We'll take we'll talk with Achit and then we'll think of something.
Achit has started coming back to learning circles.
Yeah, he came yesterday.
He has some other work regarding college which he missed in the last 2 weeks. So
okay.
Actually, he was infected with corona, so and his entire family. So he had a like pretty hard last 1.5 months. So.
Really.
So.
And I remember the first interview that I had with Achit.
Like, what something different?
No, because like very few people like stand out in the interviews. Like he was one of those guys. I remember your interview also. Abir, I don't think came for first set of interviews.
Actually, Abir wasn't aware we had a quantum hardware vertical.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, correct. Because yes, you remember like the whole hardware thing came into existence because of you, Achit, and the other guy.
Kedar.
Huh?
Kedar.
No, there's one more guy, you remember?
Parth.
Yeah.
So actually it was me, Kedar and Parth.
Correct.
And later on Parth, like I don't think why he left.
Yeah.
And then it was just me and Kedar handling it. Then over the while, then
Achit was in cryptography and then he switched to hardware. Yes.
No, we came into cryptography. Like you came up, we have a use case out there. So
right.
That was the RSA project. Like
right.
And then we moved down to quantum cryptography.
Moved down?
No, I mean like switch to okay. Maima, no hard feelings.
Like some downgrade or something. Like,
I take my words back. So like we moved to cryptography.
Okay, cool. Yeah, just think about a name, but it's good that you're thinking along these lines, which is great, to create a course, make money out of that course, use that money to create the, basically an IP of sort, right? It could be a hardware related thing or a software related thing, and then start building on top of that.
Yeah, because like hardware, like it takes time. Like we still are to cover the bottles to understand a lot of things.
Yeah. And currently in India, like there is no company working in quantum hardware specifically.
Correct. Yeah, very true.
So if you really pitch it out to like many agencies or something, so like probably we can get a lot of world help and also that can be like an accelerator.
Yeah, 100%.
So just one question. So if we taking it as a .club, so we'll be able to pitch it as like into any like where they have like where you come up with an idea, or that would be the work which QCI would be doing like as an incubation. So
yeah, we can do both actually. We can try separately and through QCI also. I mean, whatever works, like whatever is in the best interest of you guys, we'll follow that path. Okay.
I mean, initially we need to first develop the supply thing and
Correct.
work on the product for the company. So that is one major thing that we need to do first. Then after that, this thing comes up. So.
Yeah. True. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
like
baby
uh,
steps would be to create the course. The first is the 2 hour thing. Run like a couple of sessions within our community itself, gain some traction, launch the larger course, and then gain some traction, then make that money, and like then create some kind of an IP, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
so like first step we'll give it a name. So when we start up with a course, so that
Yeah.
name goes into with the course.
Correct. Yeah.
And okay, yeah, because this thing, like how it came us to us, like all like 2020 or 2019 was the year where all the aerospace startups came on.
Mm.
Like I don't know why, but they came on a lot. I
Mm.
guess after the Falcon hit off.
Mm.
So most of them, what they are doing now
Mm.
is just like they come up with courses, though
Mm.
which like kind of 3D printing courses like online. And those are like kind of an internship, internship, but where you don't get paid, but you actually pay to get an internship. And that's actually, I think it's like a bigger market now, because giving the opportunities which are there, where you companies actually hire you and they pay you, they are
Mm.
quite in fractions,
Mm.
and people actually don't get a lot of internship. But as system says, we need to show up an internship after certain semesters.
Right.
So people actually at the end of the day go pay and get their internships. Like a lot happens. So
Mm.
that is like a bigger market. We thought like, we can approach it, and with quantum going now would be like a big like a spin out there. Like,
Mm.
because most of the companies, what they do, like they're earning through this. Like they take 30 batches of an internship for 1 month, and then they finish it off, and then hey, you take a certificate, you go to a college, and we get our funding for doing our research.
Got it. Hi, Abir. Whenever Abir turns on his mic,
No, I wasn't saying anything. I was just like,
yeah, but there's a lot of static noise from your side.
oh, sorry.
Okay, good talk. I like the way you guys are thinking. So, like, I mean, the immediate next step is to come out with a short course, then the longer course, and then we'll take that. And even before that, come out with a name. Yeah.
Any suggestions from panel which we have now? Like something very creepy. Like, oh yeah, occasionally there was one more thing also, which like the couple of days, like me and Abir and like we had a chit were like on a call for like more than 1.5 hours. Like, and that was like after 12:30 in the night. So we thought of coming something like, with the podcast series where, because Abir's and my journey when like completing, okay, this is a secret. So when we completed the 5th exercise of Quantum Challenge, so the journey was like kind of very comical in nature. So we thought like, okay, we'll come up with something like a podcast series or something where we actually come and roast, like, people come and they share the funny things, how they got into quantum and what was a funny which they got on. So
Hey,
this was something which
any of you watch Rick and Morty show?
Yeah.
I watched. Yeah, Abir is a fan of.
Me too.
Okay. Oh, awesome. So, in one of the comments, Stop Being Boring is about this fiction writing and whatnot. We are writing a Rick and Morty episode. Okay. And that in that Rick and Morty enters the quantum realm. Okay. So the title that we came up with that for, where is it? Post Panda Rick. Okay, that is one. Next one is Rick Corona, Korona, Rickorona, Rick Corona, right? And the next one that we came up with was something related to quantum. Wait, where is that? From the doc. Okay, so this is the overall episode. Okay, so basically, in a world where post-pandemic outburst of freedom creates of people creating chaos, the Smith family, who rose to the power as mafia organization, had to face a new kind of monsters, which they never thought about just before when Rick and Morty traveled to the mysterious quantum realm to help save the world. So the monsters are nothing but your thought monsters. Okay, because of this vaccination and whatnot, people start thinking about certain things and those thoughts become monsters, and that kind of engulfs the whole world. And then to kind of change that, Rick and Morty goes into the quantum realm. Like there's a whole thing about going into quantum realm. See, segment 4 is completely about Rick and Morty. Qubits reach the quantum realm. They see themselves existing in two states at the same time, with different spins. They also find different kinds of microorganisms, blah blah blah.
You guys got tardigrades also inside.
Yeah, because because the shit of the tardigrades is what is creating those thought monsters. So the whole point is to remove the shit of tardigrades at the quantum realm, and then that removes the monsters out of the real world. And then they come out of the quantum realm into the real world, and like before they come out of that quantum realm, they create a clone of Rick, and they call him Melon Tusk, and that guy is running that world. So basically, that because Elon Musk keeps talking about how there's a chance that this whole thing is a simulation. Yeah. Yeah, I was a very big fan of Rick and Morty. Once you watch Rick and Morty, I don't think anything comes even close to that. Everything else feels so boring, so slow.
I 100% agree with what you just said.
Yeah, you have to basically watch. Like I started watching Friends after that just for fun, and then I had to watch it at 1.5x. I'm like, why are these guys so slow in talking?
Okay, did you watch Big Bang Theory?
Yeah, of course, yeah. But like nothing comes close to Rick and Morty, man. It's too smart. It's just like mind blowing.
Did you incorporate the Szechuan sauce episode anywhere in the episode?
In this? No. Not yet. Actually, the whole point of this was like something else, but it has become something else now. But it's okay.
like if you want deep sarcasm, BoJack Horseman.
Yeah. I've seen that also, but like again, doesn't come close to Rick and Morty.
To me, it's like BoJack Horseman is more of the existential kind of thing, right? Rick and Morty is like the bindas kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like fuck everything.
So are you taking this to Adult Swim or like this just for fun?
No, because this June 20th, the 5th season is releasing, right?
Yeah.
So we are gonna submit and then we are gonna promote this.
Oh, actually, if you guys want to submit this, so there is a playwriting competition at Yale. They are looking out for scripts with minimum 65 pages, a play. So I guess you guys can submit it out there at the Yale University, like School of Arts, and I guess.
Nice. If you find a link, send it to me. There's also something called Stage 39, which takes in scripts for Netflix. Yeah.
So I guess if things suits, yeah. And Yale is like pretty, established for arts.
Yeah, that's what they're established for. Fuckers.
Sam, can you like send the episode?
Once it's done, yeah. I will.
Yeah, okay.
You have Telegram for that to download.
No, I'm asking about this episode.
Okay, sorry.
I've already watched Rick and Morty like 4 times. So.
Welcome to the club. Oh, you guys should join our art challenge. So we do something called Stop Being Boring Challenge, okay? And this time we are giving a prize money of 10,000 rupee.
The meme one?
So if you go to stopbeingboring.club and then go to, just click on this /challenge basically. It's 28 days, but the important thing is you have to be consistent. Every day you'll get a single prompt. Let's say the prompt could be, oh man, there's so much to talk about. The prompt could be anything. So one of the prompts, by the way, I also did a course on meme creation, as in like I taught a course for meme creation for one of the corporates, and guess how much I charged for like a 1.5 hour session.
Just a course how to make memes.
Yeah, but like not just how to make, but I'll give prompts and whatnot. Okay.
Okay, how much did you?
Guess.
1 lakh.
Not that much. 30K, 1 hour session.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And that all happened because of these things only. So if you join our SBB, I mean, Stop Being Boring Discord channel and go to Art Challenge, you'll see the entire art gallery, what we created in the month of May. So every single day, for example, see, the prompt could be write a poetry using haiku scheme on the topic food. Poetry, fuck that. But like about that, see, this is all like memes and whatnot. This is comedy prompt, 7 words you can't say on Indian social media. What happens when your thoughts come to life? This is the funny one. This is that Melon Tusk thing. Imagine you're Elon Musk who visits Mars and finds Martians there. What would you do? Tell us through funny content. And I think this is mine. Anyway, so the point that I'm trying to make is like it's important that you are consistent, and this is a template that we have created. We started creating comics also. Yeah, I mean, I spend close to 45 minutes a day. That's it. You don't have to like spend so much time. It's just 45 minutes. The prompt and everything will come to you. You just have to set aside 45 minutes, create something. You'll also feel happy. This is a meme template that I really like. I think you guys know about this guy, Kabi.
Yeah. This is okay.
Yeah.
Kabi Lane.
Yeah, Kabi. And yeah, this is pretty funny. So this all happened in May, right? But now this was free initially, but now what we are doing is, so you sign up with 100 rupee, join a private WhatsApp group, receive prompts every day, create art with, so the condition is you have to create and submit within 24 hours, and then we put it up on, so if you go to our voting booth, so usually we put up over here and then people have to go and upvote. So no one knows, it's anonymous, right? Because only Lohit kind of puts up over here. You submit it through a Google form and then we put it up on Discord. People go and vote it. So this is one type of voting. The other voting comes from the facilitator. Finally, we maintain a leaderboard like this. Okay. See, I came overall second. I mean, towards the end, I kind of knew that I was gonna win, and I didn't want to win because, like, it's my community. So, so Pooja won. So this is the overall thing. What the fuck? See, I'm 246 overall, but see, I didn't even submit the last 3 days. But yeah, Pooja 250. I got 246, then GK got 236. And GK is the guy with whom I'm writing that Rick and Morty episode. He's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, I think if you guys are interested in these kind of creative things, I think you guys should join this. And like 100 rupees, nothing. But like the winner, last time we gave 3 months of Headspace subscription. This time it's 10,000 rupees, real money. Yeah, but like it's gonna go to one person. Winner takes all. And of course, like I'll participate, but I'm not gonna win. Okay, so don't worry about it.
You wouldn't want, like, you won't win by purpose.
Yeah. I mean, also I think this time it'll be a little tough because people are paid, so they will work extra hard. Yeah, if you guys are interested, just check out this. Go to stopbeingboring.club, then top link, you click on this challenge part, then sign up, I think. Some razor pay button, where is that?
Sam, I just had one question. When you really start up with like all those communities, so you actually get the domain from GoDaddy or something? Or
Yeah, so I get it from GoDaddy, then I use Umso. So see, this is the platform that we use. Again, like I have like 15 websites that I can create for you guys. We can put up one thing easily. Don't worry about it. Okay.
Okay.
And it's pretty simple to use. If the content is ready, it's simple. Like in 1-2 hours, I can set it up. Yeah, all the websites. So basically, I only created. I mean, it's just simple static websites, nothing. And oh, the good thing with UMSO is one, I got like a good deal. So instead of $500, I got it for $250 because I wrote to them, whatever. And then the next best thing is you get your HTTPS also sorted with this, right? So otherwise you have to pay separately for getting a SSL certificate and whatnot. By the way, this is all like your cryptography thing only. So see, look at this. This is what kind of algorithm? I think is Let's Encrypt is the organization. But anyway, so this is HTTP. Yes, Maima, what is yes? Secure services layer, no? Secure socket. Sorry?
Yeah.
But like what algorithm do they use?
It has its own protocol stack, like there are different ones. Like for that,
This one,
which could
X509.
be TLS or SSL.
Ah,
It depends. Like
yeah.
depends on the implementation, like certificate they are giving.
Right. So these guys give 509 certificate and SSL. So anyway, so the point is it's pretty cheap and one of the best things that I've come across recently. So this UMSO for websites, Discord for communication, Roam Research for everything else, knowledge management, task tracking. I'll just show one thing. I know it's been like we have been talking for a long time, but where is so there should be incentive for everyone joining the community. So you join either as a learning circle member. So this is all part of your think about that supply and demand thing that I talked about, right? So let's say Abir, Nilay, and Achita starting that new community, you become the managing partners of that community. Okay. And you can take in people as learning circle member or apprentice or internship, fellowship, junior associate, senior associate, and then you can set aside community hours that they have to put into the community and for how many months that they're going to work, what are the gigs that they can execute, okay, and the community fee, if you can give income sharing agreements, that's possible, or percentage of the gig that they're working on, right? But like I said, this clarity has come out after doing so many experiments on all these 5 communities that we have built in. But now for you guys, this will be like readily given, right? Like, in the community building handbook, this will all be there. So instead of, now this is for sales marketing kind of thing, but for you guys, it will be mostly on tech parts. So you will again, because look at the skill level. At the end of the day, it really comes down to skill level, right? The managing partner should have like the topmost skill level for the particular community that the person is managing as a partner, right? That's the base premise. Because we are doing everything based on skill, which means it's a meritocracy based organization. And like little more nuances there in terms of how this will reflect on the voting pattern, the shareholding pattern, and everything. But again, like you don't have to worry about all those things. Everything will be given to you guys as a template. But the more time that we get, the better all these things are gonna get. And at some point, we'll automate all these things. But right now, we are just like doing it manually, like these things. And so why I'm showing this is because you remember in we use that proof of work within our profile and whatnot, right? So that if we are using religiously, then we'll exactly know how many work hours a particular member is putting into the community. And that essentially is gonna, for example, look at now Daksh. Now this is Stranger Sapiens Rome, right? So if I go here, this you guys already know because you already have a profile within Chrome. your personal da 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 da. This will be replaced by that Skillshare identity, but your proof of work will still belong here, right? See, this guy joined as an apprentice. His start date was this, and then his proof of work is over here, right? Every single day, whatever notes, da da da. I mean, this I think you guys know already. But I'm just showing like the process that we have kind of tested it out initially within QCI. Now we are perfected. And now though Rome has so many, like so much more that you can do. There's something called Rome templates, right? So I just say, see, my entire podcast process comes up over here. What do you have to do during a podcast? And what did I do? I just had a template over here, which is also again set up already, right? Before you start the podcast, how do you onboard a podcast speaker, right? Everything is literally written down to the T. And you're also given sample form that you have to send to the podcast guests to onboard themselves. So just nuts what we have done in the last 1.5 years. But also like great people have been working with us. That's why it's mostly. So this will all be part of that whole community model template, right? So this is that handbook kind of a thing where you'll get everything written down very specifically. Okay. I know I've been talking a lot because I get so excited whenever I talk about this.
No, we have those sessions earlier also. That's good.
Yeah. So the baby step is think about a domain. Buy it on GoDaddy. If you want to use UMSO, use UMSO that I have, or if you want to create it yourself, that's up to you. Rome would be the only cost right now that you would have to bear. But we are not paying anything for Rome because we got into Rome long time back. So our Rome, we are not paying. But right now, I think Rome is kind of, but we can always write to them. Okay. You write to Corner and you say, I can help you with all those things, by the way, right?
Yeah, we'll definitely do all those like wherever we can.
Yeah. But like, yeah, baby steps. Right now, the domain name and the workshop, and then the larger course, and then we'll start getting some traction, and then yeah. Also, the think of the name. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And again, like any fancy names, guys, like.
That's why we went into that Rick thing. No?
Yeah.
I think we'll need to think.
Yeah. Like really.
Give me some time. During sleep, you usually get good ideas.
Essentially, Archit came up with a postcard name. He named it Q Reap.
Okay.
Nice.
But like these are low hanging things, right? Like quantum, Q. If you start with these things.
I was going to say circuit like CIRUIT, but then that already exists. So
yeah, that sounds nice. Also, try to look from our Indian mythology perspective. Okay, see if there is something that's written in our Vedas about these things. Try to find that. Okay, and that'll be a great way to attract money from that Indian government. Okay.
Okay. That's why they name all ISRO missions as.
Yeah. So the moment you go into that direction, it becomes very easy, and it's a very strategic way to look at things, right? One, you will attract Indian government money. Second, when you go out of India, they will still respect you because you have gone to your roots and you have taken name from your own culture.
Yeah.
Right? So I think some guy wrote an article about what Upanishads talk about quantum.
Yeah, that was Schrodinger himself.
Yeah, but I know one Indian guy who wrote a Medium article about that.
Like I read that article with Schrodinger wrote on Upanishads.
That I remember. So let's see. This is Schrodinger talking about it. Funny mystical experience of union gone.
It's actually, if I say like outside scientists, they know much more of the science and Vedas than Indians know themselves.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I mean, usually philosophy kind of encapsulates everything. I mean, as engineers, we kind of brush aside philosophy because there's no
Logic into it.
falsifiable proof for philosophy. As in, no empirical evidence, right? You can just sit and think and say some bullshit and go away with that. So we kind of brush it aside. But if you really build on top of what your previous, look at something like this. If you can name something mystical, that'll be great. See, Advaita means not dual. Thereby, Advaita can be loosely translated to having no duplicate. Advaita comes from Vedanta school. Advaya, two things that appear to be different and opposite, but are fundamentally. See, this is qubit essentially, right?
Nice, yeah.
Yeah, so technically, we need to come up with something like a simple word for something like into many places, something like that.
Yeah. Just see if you have Advaya.club. I think it should be available.
Advaita is already there. Like there are a lot of companies with the name Advaita on LinkedIn. So that's a good option. Advaya. I don't know.
Vedanta went with Vedantu.
Advaya Solutions. Okay, making technology work with tailored digital transformation. Yeah. Okay, that also exists. But yeah, there is only one company.
No, but that's why that .club will help. You won't get .in, .com, but .club not many people are using. Okay. Hey, look at this Pratyaksha. Gagana.
But this looks like more of a rocket name.
Yeah. Non-dual or monism. And if you dig a little deeper, you'll find a lot. Also, I have a book around Upanishads. Let me see.
Or we'll just name it Rootex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll think.
Yeah.
This call has gone for 2 hours, man.
And it's all been recorded.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just have a small idea, okay, before we go. So we're talking about for the names, like same thing which is in different places at the same time, right? So I don't know if you're familiar with the Mahabharata. That's like this guy who narrates the Kurukshetra war to Dhritarashtra.
The Mahamantri.
Yeah, the Mahamantri. So usually in Hinduism, in all these epics, they have like different names for the same person, right? So this guy, he was in both the Kurukshetra field and Dhritarashtra's place at the same time. So we could probably like look for his names or something like that.
Yeah. Interesting. Hello, let's all think tonight.
The name was Vidur, I think. Mahatma Vidur.
Yeah. Vidur, yeah.
No, that was not Vidur. Okay, it was somebody called Satyaki. So,
Oh, okay.
Satyaki.
Not sure.
Yeah. We'll look into it.
Okay, cool. So I think the first steps are the name and the the coursework for the
What?
yeah, like the structure of the coursework. So I think we'll work on that first, and then
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thanks.
All right, let's not lose focus. We still have to submit for this IonQ proposal. Okay, that's all.
Yeah, we'll get that. We'll get that done. First priority is there.
Yeah. All right. Anything else? Rutamra has been talking on Sanjay Q. What else? Okay. All right. Okay, guys. I'm gonna stop recording and let me put this up on